Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we want to take a very quick look at the Galaxy S24. Now this device is actually the smallest in the range of S24 series. Let me just give you a very quick perspective as to how small it is. So right here, this is the Galaxy S24. This is the S24 Plus, and of course the Ultra is on your most far right. So again, it's the smallest one in the lineup, and if you are looking to get yourself like a very compact device, the S24 might actually be the choice or the option for you. But I think we should go into a bit more detail and find out, like what this phone is all about. I've been using it for the past few days, and let me just share with you a bit of my experience. This is not like a super in-depth review, but it's just going to be a few points that I found after using this device. So let's begin the video right away. Now before we begin, I actually have here the online exclusive color. This one is actually the one in sapphire blue. Depending on your choice of colors, I think if you are already going to be buying one of these devices, you might as well go and check out the online colors because they just look so much better than the standard colors. Anyway, moving back to the phone itself, what do I think about this device? I think we have to start off by comparing it very quickly to last year's S23. Now straight up, I'm going to tell you, honestly speaking, there's not going to be a lot of changes. In fact, in my mind, there's only top 3 upgrades that you have here. Number 1 is actually in the display. Now the resolution is still the same, it's still very contrasty, and on the display, great refresh rate, everything is nice, but the display is now a little bit brighter compared to the S23. So if you are the kind of person who is outdoors most of the time, or say for example, you feel that your device doesn't get bright enough, well, that's actually fixed on the S24. Now the second key feature here that has been changed is actually in terms of the processor. Now this depends on how you look at it. So last year it was using the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. This year it's using the Exynos 2400 here in Malaysia. Now the third main change, the third main upgrade is all about those Galaxy AI features that has been built into the device itself. Now this is actually the most newest thing to the Galaxy S24 series, but bear in mind that Samsung did also mention that they will be carrying over all the Galaxy AI features to the S23 series. It's just a matter of time, but you will be able to get it directly on the S24. So that is just the top 3 major upgrades or differences that you can see compared to the S23. Everything else is pretty much the same. So the dimensions itself is also almost the same. Obviously the weight itself is only a difference of 1 or 2 grams, so you can already imagine where we are going. One main key difference in the design is, of course, right now we do have this kind of like flat frames all around, which I do prefer very much. I know some people are saying that this design looks like a certain phone. I honestly speaking don't really care. It's not like I'm always going out and comparing my phone with others. You just want a good looking phone, and that's what you will get with the brand new S24. Other than that, we are also having a very similar set of cameras compared to the last generation. Everything is the same in terms of the resolution, how many megapixels, they're all the same. So I actually went out and took a couple of shots using this camera, and again, I would still say that the cameras are definitely flagship level, even though you might say that these sensors are coming from the S23. But let me show you a couple of shots that I took, especially at night. I think the S24 is actually very strong at night. So I was just shooting the Twin Towers here in KL at night, and you can see that we actually managed to capture a lot of detail. Even when you zoom in at 3 times, you're still getting a lot of detail. Another thing I noted is that in terms of the lights, there's actually quite minimal amount of flare. I think if the camera itself can shoot very well at night, it's already doing something very good, and you do not have to worry that much about daytime shots. So yes, I also did take a couple of daytime shots, and I wouldn't say that it's like super standout or super impressive. It's great, it's good enough, definitely great enough for sharing on your social media. So that's what I can say in terms of the cameras. You're still getting a great set of cameras, even though the megapixel count is similar to last year, but there's a bit more or difference in terms of the processing thanks to the brand new Exynos 2400. So things might look a little bit different compared to the S23. I do not have the S23 right now, so I can't put a side-by-side comparison, but just using this camera itself, everything looks quite good. Right, now let's talk a bit about the performance, since that's also another key change here. Exynos 2400. Alright, so I think I saw a couple of videos on YouTube already. Some content creators have already intensively tested the Exynos 2400, and long story short, this processor is not as bad as many people think it to be. So I know there's a lot of hate online for the Exynos series of processors, but it's definitely not as bad as you think. So based on the benchmark and the test that has been done by those other people, just imagine it's in between the 8 Gen 2 as well as the 8 Gen 3. So it's not like better than the 8 Gen 3, but it's in between 8 Gen 2 and 8 Gen 3. So you're still getting a very strong performance on the S24. Now moving on to the battery life. Naturally, since this is a smaller device, so you're getting a smaller battery. Compared to the S23, it's actually 100 mAh larger. This is 4000 mAh. Charging speed is still about the same, but with this extra 100 mAh battery and with the Exynos 2400 processor, I noticed that things were a bit more efficient, such as my battery life was able to last even longer than before. So I think it's also about like 6 hours, I would say. This is basically depending on your usage. If you play a lot of games, naturally everyone's usage is completely different. So at the end of the day, who should get the Galaxy S24? Number one, if you are in the market looking for a compact device, you want the best or the latest compact device. Now this is obviously where you can find the S24 the most attractive. I think there are some other Asus phones out there, but they're not in the Malaysian market, so I have not tested them out yet. But if you're looking for a small phone, one of the best, the strongest small phones, definitely the Galaxy S24 should be at the top of your list. Again, like I said in my previous videos, if you already own the S23, obviously you do not need to upgrade right away. If you're using like the S22, S21 and even older devices, then maybe you can consider to upgrade to the S24. Otherwise, yep, do check out the online colors. They do look quite attractive. If you have any further questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you have your own thoughts as well, feel free to put it down below. I'm open to all kinds of comments. Say whatever you want to say. Thank you for watching today's video all the way to the end. Really appreciate you guys checking into the channel. Don't forget to like and sub to the channel to see more content like this, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.